Hello, 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 my beautiful little ghosties. Hi, Dread. It's so great seeing you. Hello. I'm so glad that you were able to come. Yay. We're gonna have so much fun. We're just gonna sip over vampires this whole time. Let's jump straight into it. Before I jump straight in, just a little reminder that I am giving at the beginning of this because this game does deal with some heavier subjects, including addiction and blood, death subjects. Might not be suitable for all viewers. So, please take care of yourself. Your mental health is more important than a silly little vampire game. And I will see you at another point if you need to take a break. Alright? Please take care of yourself first, my beautiful little ghosties. Get the simp for more vampires. Today's a good day. Yes! Alright, let's get straight into it. I believe, yeah, that's the one. Boop, boop, boop. If it'll ever load. Please. I think that this game in general just takes long to load. Because I don't even think that it's like my computer struggling.
Oh, hey, Andy.
What is wrong, my friend?
Yeah, you sound off.
Your chipper American self.
I guess I ain't too happy to be seeing tonight's client. I'm still feeling the tongue lashing she gave me last time.
Yeah. I love her.
Yes, the Senora d'Este. She certainly has a way with
Senora
words.
d'Este. I love her.
It ain't that. It's just this sense I get. Like she thinks I can be a certain way just because she tells me to.
Aha. At least that makes her chord distortion clear, doesn't it? You know what it is, of course.
That lady's got control fallacies out the wazoo, and they've given her centuries of stress.
I do not know this term, wazoo, but you are correct.
Haha, I got it right.
The woman who chooses immortality so that she can ensure her family makes the correct decisions probably has some control issues.
Yeah.
And taking out her stress on me.
Do not take her criticisms too much to heart, my friend. You are simply a convenient target, an element within her control.
That still don't make it much fun.
I will not deny that Senora d'Este is a confrontational client, but take her presence as a gift, however you can. A woman so powerful in her time has much to teach us. You have all the tools you need at your disposal to help her. Consider your approach.
Okay. I think overgeneralization is gonna be useful. I think labeling. Ooh. Trying to think, personalization or emotional reasoning, or both. I could do both. Should statement. I feel like that's gonna be, oh, disqualifying the positive. Wait. Let me click. There we go. And emotional reasoning. Let's try that.
All right, I think I'm ready.
I will leave you to meditate then. Be well, Samuel, and let this 3,000-year-old tell you, you are a fantastic therapist.
Oh, gosh. You're gonna make me blush. Get on out of here, boss. I can handle this.
Oh,
I know you can.
they're so cute.
I think I'm ready. And here she comes. A deep breath.
Oh, Yep.
Now, howdy, Senora. Nice to see you again.
Hi.
Liar. You are as pleased to see me as I am to see you, therapist.
Okay, well, why are you
Gonna
back
get
here?
straight into it, huh? All right, lay it on me. Why ain't you happy to see me?
She's really pretty.
Because you are a worm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've been called a lot worse. You're gonna need to be more specific than that, Senora.
Yeah.
You are a worm because of the way you wriggled into my mind the last time we spoke, leaving behind loathsome doubts.
Hello, Hrothgar. How you doing?
The only reason I am here is to confront you for your beastly behavior. I come to you in crisis, and you suggest that I am the cause of my own woe. Aren't you supposed to help me?
Senora,
Yeah.
you came in here telling me that Art is dead. How am I supposed to help you with that?
Yeah.
I don't know. But telling me that my existence has been a complete waste of time is not comforting.
I definitely
Yeah.
don't remember saying that, Senora.
Nice to see you again. I'm good. That's awesome. It's nice to see you again too, Hrothgar. We are playing Vampire Therapist again.
What I said is that you ain't gonna change the world for anyone. But that doesn't mean your work wasn't worth anything. That's what I call
Control
That's
fallacy.
what I call a control fallacy. Senora, you're one person. One powerful, intelligent, and talented person, but one out of billions. You can't expect to reach everyone. Doesn't matter how good the art you produce is.
True.
It ain't gonna help a fellow like me who grew up without ever having heard the name Michelangelo.
Yep.
Michelangelo? Who is Michelangelo?
Oh. Also, I love, you can like so clearly see the like, because they were like, oh yeah, it's said that she was the one that like modeled for the Mona Lisa. I love that they like posed her in this way to like keep you thinking that in the back of your brain.
The guy what painted the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo.
Michelangelo did no such thing. Perhaps you are thinking of a man from New Jersey, or a turtle. It is Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Senora, you want to talk about wasting time? What's using me as a punching bag doing for you?
Yeah.
Very well. I will speak plainly. I am angry with you, Mr. Walls.
Okay.
Yes, perhaps not all I did was a waste of time, effort, and pain, but to think that much of it was. This is most horrifying.
Overgeneralization. She's so regal and elegant. Yes, she is. And I love her just like covered and dripping in pearls. Oh, I love it. I love her design so much. This is less of me simping and more of me just like loving her design and being like, what if I made that? What if I, because I do a lot of sewing. We've discussed this. What if I made that? What if I made her outfit? I'll eat it. Anyway, what is this? Emotional reason. No?
Listen carefully, Samuel. It is not only truth that harms the Senora, but also the way she perceives truth.
Disqualifying the
Yes,
pause?
perhaps not all I did.
No?
Listen carefully, Samuel. It is not
Yes, perhaps
No?
Listen carefully, Samuel. It is not only truth that harms the Senora, but also the way.
Yes, perhaps not.
Listen carefully, Samuel.
Is it labeling?
Yes.
Maybe it'd help if we looked at that wording you used. A waste of time, effort, and pain.
Just love the vibes of her design and style. I know, right? She's
Even if you didn't achieve your goals
I
in
love
them
her.
efforts, you can't just say they were a waste of time.
And I also love her voice actor.
Now, if you were sitting in bed for 400 years watching bad TV, then I might agree with you.
A disgusting notion. I am already dead. I do not need my mind to actively decompose by watching Batflix's latest trash.
So maybe let's reserve waste of time for trash, huh? I can see why it'd be upsetting to see something you put a lot of effort into not work out.
It is more than upsetting. It is devastating. I did not just fail to bring the understanding of true beauty into the world, I failed to bring it to my own familia. I watched them die, Mr. Walls. It was not the physical death that caused me the greatest pain, but the spiritual death. They had no care for the Gonzaga name nor the Deste name. Despite my sacrifice and all my efforts, they pieced away my legacy.
Ooh boy, sounds like there's a lot to unpack here.
It is a dark and painful story, Mr. Walls. A story where my greatest joy turns to ash, and I was powerless to stop it.
I'm more simp for her in the way I want to be her. Felt. Honestly, super felt. I don't know, I have like I don't necessarily want to be her in the exact way that she is, but I want her energy, you know? Like I love her vibe and the energy she gives off and the like very regal. I love it.
When last we met, did I tell you about my son?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Federico. Ah, my dear Federico, my little clown, my delicate artist, my beautiful boy. I suffered for him, Mr. Walls. I put up with my husband, Frankie, and all his brutishness, all his licentiousness. All for Federico. I raised him to be intelligent and clever, to understand the gentle arts and philosophy. I raised him to be a Deste. But for all my efforts, I could not cool his Gonzaga blood, and it persisted for a century, to the ruin of our house.
I know great powers, Samuel, but power over blood, that I shall never have, and there are none who can.
Control fallacy?
But for all...
I hate to break it to you, senor,
Boom.
but every kid's got two parents, whether they know them or not. And kids have got minds of their own.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that we are trapped by our blood. What was my destiny as a girl? Men of my time said it was to be servile and docile, a political pawn. What saved me from that fate? Knowledge, study, an appreciation of art, music, history, and literature. In the same way, I should have been able to save my son. But my failure did not end with my darling Federico. I was only 153 when the once great Gonzaga house surrendered all its honor to the hated Spanish. I stood by, useless as a statue, as the Gonzaga name burned in the war of the Mantuan succession.
Stopping the war.
So wait, there's a whole ass war going on and you're supposed to stop it? How's that work?
I gave up my humanity to guide my familia through the ages. If I could not do that, what was the point of becoming undead?
Disqualify the process. No?
The Senora has put a lot of pressure on herself, and dire consequences.
I gave up.
Control
Senor,
fallacy.
being a vampire gives us a lot of powers, but it doesn't give us the power to control a single human being, let alone a whole dynasty of them.
I'd like to get wine drunk with her. Same, Dread. Honestly, super same. I want to get wine drunk with her, talk about theology, and then I want to... Oh, no. You know what would be great? Introducing her to Shakespeare. And just letting her go wild. And then being like, hey... And then there's all these people that have made all these adaptations off of this guy's work.
When the heck have we ever listened to our betters? I ain't no historian, but I know enough to know people are liable to making the same mistakes over and over again.
Honestly, she might know Shakespeare. I don't know, but I think it would be fun.
Humans have got that whole pesky free will thing that makes them do dumb things.
No. You know what would be fantastic? Introduce her to fan fiction. Or fan art.
Perhaps you are correct. Stupidity is inevitable. I understand what you are trying to do, Mr. Walls.
What am I trying to do, Senora?
She definitely has the tea on all the drama too. OMG, she'd be perfect gossip. I know, right? And she wouldn't, like, you know that she wouldn't say it in a messy way. Like, you know that she would be like, you know, that Jill down the road, she's just, yeah, you know, like, is she, I don't know, there's like a very specific way that some people will say it, that it's like, ugh, I love it. I love her.
You are trying to tell me that I've been living a lie for more than 400 years.
I ain't doing anything like that, senor.
Do not fret, peasant. We are in agreement. I have been living a lie. We all have. As I told you last time, I know my own foolishness. But time has not made my mortal concerns fade. In my mind, I know that virtue, love, chastity, wisdom, honor, these kinds of words were created by men to make us supplicant.
Yeah.
But, fool that I am, I still love the idea of virtue. I have loved it ever since I was a child.
Emotional reasoning? No?
The Senora seems to rely on insults when people do not meet her standards, including herself.
But, fool that I am,
It ain't foolish to have ideals, senora. Wanting to better ourselves is maybe the thing that makes us human.
perhaps, but whose better do we strive toward? That I follow the better of old perverts is what makes me foolish.
Senora, people have been following the ideals of old perverts for thousands of years.
Yeah?
Why are you a fool?
Do not mistake, Mr. Walls. We are all fools.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's
true.
better then.
Mind your tone. I will tolerate a fool, but not an impertinent one.
Ugh.
As I was saying, my folly was to fall in love with these ideals as a child. I used to love all the tales of Roman mythology. I saw myself in all the goddesses.
Cause you are. Anyway.
I saw my strength and chastity in Diana. In Minerva, my wisdom. In Venus, I saw my timeless beauty and romantic nature.
Oh, look at her face. I love her.
Romantic nature.
Romantic nature, what a wretched parrot I hear. Do not look at me so. Yes, I was a romantic. Until reality came crashing down upon me. Look at this painting I had commissioned.
What am I looking at? I don't know much about art.
Okay, so that's clearly Venus. That's Roman interpretation of Hermes. I'm guessing this is the Muses. And I have not seen this painting before, so I'm like genuinely going off of like just what I remember from mythology. I'm guessing maybe it's like the like uniting of, and this is supposed to be Roman, but I only know them by their Greek names, Aphrodite and Ares, and Hephaestus being scorned. Maybe? I don't know. You just know she'd call you sugar and give you the most sincere compliments. Yes.
The figures standing upon the arch are Venus and Mars.
Knew it.
Mars is portrayed by my idiot husband, Frankie. Beside him, I stand as Venus.
Oh, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be looking.
You may appreciate my beauty, peasant, but do not let your eyes linger upon my once supple body over long. This is art, not pornography. But look closer and you will see that even this art is a lie. This is the dream of a foolish girl.
My favorite Greek god is Hephaestus. Oh, that's really awesome. Mine is... Ooh, that's a tough one. Mine's probably... Okay, if we're talking about the main, like, the big 12 Greek gods, probably, like, honestly, Dionysus, if we're talking about the big 12. I think that Dionysus is part of the big 12. I'm pretty sure he is. She is right, she is a goddess, yes, Dread. But if we're talking about just general Greek mythology, I think my favorite figure in Greek mythology is Nyx.
To be enjoined in pure romantic love with a handsome warrior. I believed so hard, Mr. Walls, that I thought I could make it through. But this handsome man is not Frankie. This is Frankie. He is not Mars, but Vulcan.
Well, he's got some abs. I'll give him that.
Yes, I did not shy from truth. But see how love's aim goes amiss and strikes his gangrenous penis rather than his heart.
Uh-huh.
See the grapes behind him, for the drunkard is never far from his true love.
I'm gonna cover that up.
As if begging a true warrior to put a sword in his belly.
I'm sensing we've got some work to do around your husband.
Whatever gave you that impression?
Mine's Athena. Annabeth Chase was my favorite book crush. But also would love to party with Dionysus. Also, I swear Jack Black is his demigod child. I know, right? Literally. Love Jack Black. I love him in stuff. I love his acting. Yeah, no, probably my favorite character in the Percy Jackson series was Nico D'Angelo. I loved him. I was obsessed. I had a massive crush on Nico for the longest time growing up, like as a kid, and then I wanted to be him, and then now I'm here. But yeah, so for a very long time, I was also one of those people that was like, yeah, I love Nico D'Angelo, but I'm not gonna be like one of those people that's like, oh my goodness, my favorite Greek god is Hades, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm not gonna be one of those people. So for a very long time, I said like, oh, my favorite Greek god was Demeter. Now as an adult, my favorite of the like big 12 Greek gods is definitely Dionysus. But
the man was created solely to crush my view of the world and my place in it. Naturally, I might have some issues around him.
Okay.
I now believe that Frankie was the truest man I ever met. That is what broke my heart. I maintained the illusion that he was my Mars because that is what I needed. I was not ready to face the truth. Oh, but I knew. Even as a 15-year-old girl, I knew. But I could not accept that I was married to the legendary penetrator of Mantua. Is it any wonder that I prefer the lie of Virtù? Is it any wonder that I still prefer to believe it?
I honestly kind of have a lot of sympathy and empathy for her character in that way of being like, I even like as her literally being like, yeah, even at 15 I knew that he was like this person, but I needed to have this lie to just make it through.
Problem is men. You are all weak animals who would give up your dignity for an evening in the company of Lucrezia Borgia.
Hold
Overgeneralization.
your horses there, Senora. I don't even know who the heck Lucretia Borgia is.
She is the inventor of twerking. All men flock to her, as I'm sure you would.
No.
They say she was blonde, but she looked like a redhead to me. You know what they say about redheads. Kissed by Lucifer.
No.
Dang, Senora. Your overgeneralizations are building up and making you see whole groups of folks as awful.
I mean, he's a redhead, so what are you saying?
Now, I know you got your reasons for feeling the way that you do. Real personal ones. But recognize where your experience is making you narrow your thinking.
Honestly, the writing in this game is superb from what I've seen. I know, right? Like, all the characters are so... And I mean, I understand why. Because, like, the entirety of this game is just analyzing these characters in a therapy kind of setting. But, like, all of them are just so thoroughly thought out, and all of their, like, bits of their brains are just so thought out. It's so awesome to see characters, like, written so well.
I mean, Senora, I'll be straight with you, as you're a tough lady. Here's where I think it's coming from. You're comparing people to gods, including yourself, and everyone's failing that test. Frankie weren't never gonna be Mars. You weren't never gonna be Venus. You weren't born out of no shell.
And you will never be anything but a peasant.
Yeah.
Heck, Senora, I'll be as surprised as anyone if I get invited to a high society dinner. I can tell I'm hitting a sore spot, but maybe that means that's what we've got to focus on.
I do not like you, Sam Walls. But you are correct. I betray my own purity of spirit with my anger. But I say, why should we not aim to be like the gods? Humanity is not worth preserving when we are such petty creatures.
Wait just a minute there, Senora. Humanity ain't worth preserving? I say you're wrong. Damn wrong. Look at yourself. Look at what you've created. Ain't no goddess has ever done what you've done. You brought some of the finest art ever produced into existence. You ran your own city, which is something I'm pretty sure Venus never did.
I suppose that is true. Our mortal concerns seem so pedestrian, though.
Senora, humanity is all we've got. Even if we're immortal, every word we're speaking is a result of our humanity. Yeah, we make a lot of mistakes, and some of us sound like peasants. But all that messiness is worth something. It makes us who we are. Senora, I don't think you're a goddess. I think you're way more interesting and impressive, because you're real.
Yeah.
Well, you have great wisdom for a peasant, Sam. And your kerchief is a fetching shade of red that matches your eyes.
Aww. She's just a sweetheart. Oh! I love her. Look at her face. I love it when she's happy. Ah! He's treading on a fine line talking about Venus like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Senora. Let's focus on you, though. What happens if you're not that perfect goddess?
I suppose I have always felt that if I could not live to my ideals, I would be left with nothing. I would be discarded like Frankie's mistresses and die of some sex disease. Oh, Mr. Walls, I know you speak the truth. I wielded great strength in an age where women were not respected. But I alone feel the weight of my family's collapse, so I feel responsible for it.
Control valid? No.
Does Senora Deste's feeling of responsibility for her family, does Senora Deste's feeling of responsibility for her family make them her responsibility, Samuel?
I alone...
I know it's a lot to bear, Senora, but that weight you're carrying doesn't mean you're the one
Yeah.
destined to carry the weight. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This sounds like some of that excellent peasant wisdom of yours. Please explain.
What I'm saying is that feeling you've got doesn't create truth. You feel that you have ultimate responsibility for your family, but that feeling doesn't make it so.
Yes, I see. No one gave me this responsibility other than myself.
Oh, look at her. She's so pretty. I love her so much. Oh.
That's exactly it, Senora.
But I was the only person capable of preserving my family, Sam. That is what makes my failure so poignant.
Senora, what if you weren't the only person capable of preserving your family? What if no one person was?
Yeah, that seems like a lot to have just on you to preserve your family. Like, what about everybody else in your family?
I don't know. I never considered such a thing.
Well, try to consider it now. What if you accepted that whatever was going to happen to your family was going to happen?
Yeah.
You sound like a Calvinist.
Never
I don't
mind
know
with
what
the
that
labeling for
means.
now. How would you feel if you knew nobody can control what happened to the Gonzaga house?
I think I would feel relieved.
Senora, whatever happened to your family, fault never belonged to you. You were the one who named yourself responsible. No one else did. Look at who you are. And I think you can be damned impressed at who that lady is.
Yep.
Damn you.
Too late, Senora. Look, let's wrap up tonight, huh? I think you did great. You probably got some stuff to think about.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. I will see you in a month.
Of course, Senora. I'm looking forward to it.
Goodbye, Sam.
Oh, we made it! We made some... Ah! We made some progress! We made some progress! Ah!
Samuel.
I feel real good about
appears to
that.
have an admirer.
Oh?
Oh, shucks.
I think Isabella d'Este has liked fewer than 5 people in her hundreds of years of existence, and you are one of them.
Aww.
Remember, though, that romantic entanglements between a therapist and client are absolutely forbidden, in case you are tempted.
Yeah, no.
Come on now, Andy. I ain't gonna do anything like that.
I don't think that Sam's tempted. I might be very tempted, but I don't think Sam's gonna be
Of
tempted.
course, should the mind wander into fantasy, that is entirely acceptable.
Oh, you're just messing with me now.
I could not help it. It's rather cute. The First Lady of the Renaissance and humble cowboy Samuel Walls. Quite a picture, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You take a very high-status Renaissance lady who looks like she came straight out of a Renaissance painting, and then you have this kind of scruffy-looking cowboy, and you shove them in a room together.
Okay, that's it. I'm getting a drink.
I'm sorry, Samuel. Please, drink. Ask Crimson for the Royal Virgin. It's my very best. I think you deserve it.
Yeah, whatever. You have a good night, Andy.
Rest in peace, Samuel.
Yeah, I hate to see no romance options, although, yeah, probably shouldn't date clients. Yeah, that's, like, I understand why there's no romance, because we
thought I
shouldn't
had
be
family
dating
problems.
clients. And that's, like, super not okay, and you shouldn't do that. But also, I want an option where I am not their therapist, and I just get to date them. I want that option. I did when I bought this game, I got the couples therapy expansion pack. So probably once I finish up the main game, I'm gonna go through and do the couples therapy expansion, which should be interesting.
I'll need me a Crimson special after that one.
Yep.
Howdy, Crimson. Think you could fashion me up one of them blood cocktails?
I reckon so. Got a lot on your mind tonight, cowboy.
Yeah, just thinking about family stuff. I got this client who's got some real tough family issues to go through, and it got me thinking about my own. Or my lack of family, at least.
Yeah.
You got any family left?
I've got a great
Oh.
granddaughter kicking around apparently, but she's got no connection to this old cowpoke. Not sure what she'd say if a man dressed like a cowboy introduced himself as her vampire relative from the 1800s.
At least an option after treatment, so there's no power dynamic. Yeah, but also I think that is also a little bit unethical, because you do kind of know all of the intricacies of their brain, and like you know all of their stuff and all their shit, so I don't think that would also be ethical. I think that the only way that you could ethically do it is like if you just completely were not their therapist ever. And then, yeah. Because there's no power dynamic directly, but also that fact of, like, you were their therapist means that you know a lot of their shit that maybe they don't want you to know right away, you know? I don't know. Just not a great idea. Hey folks, don't date your therapist. I don't think it needs to be said, but I don't know.
I see your point. Sounds like you don't have many family problems then.
I reckon so. Family means a lot to my client, though. I hope my perspective's still useful.
Yeah, glad they aren't my clients. So the simping begins. Yes. Same. Like, I am not Sam. This is not first perspective, first point of view. I'm not Sam. I'm just calling stuff out. I am a completely unbiased party that I just get to simp.
How do you think she's handling her therapy so far?
Actually, pretty well.
I think she's doing pretty well, honestly.
Yeah.
She spent a long time judging herself by her family's achievements, but I think she's starting to recognize the fruitlessness in that.
Seems like you don't need her family to be able to give her some hope.
Yeah.
I suppose not. Rich family problems were never going to be my specialty anyway. You got family back home, Crimson?
Yeah, I've got some family. We don't talk too much. I went a little wild after I got my diagnosis.
Yeah.
They're not too fond of my lifestyle choices, but hey, at least I'm alive. And I get to hear them gossiping about how I don't age.
Well, you chose a good age
love
to
that,
stop getting
Crimson.
older. I often wish I weren't such a dusty old corpse, but death comes when it comes.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's still waiting for me to give him an opening.
Death always is. Pardon me for asking, but is there a reason you're choosing not to be a vampire?
There is, but I'm not talking about it tonight. A little mystery makes life a bit spicier, don't you think, cowboy?
Oh, I wasn't trying to pry or nothing.
Bullshit. I know you're curious. Here, consolation prize.
But what is it?
Black Widow. Black stuff's just food coloring. Figured you were in the mood for a scary lady tonight.
Ooh.
Thank you kindly, ma'am. Think I'll take this to my coffin for a quiet night.
You do that, honey. And don't spill in Andy's coffin. He'll act like he's not mad, but you know he's mad.
Oh.
Why should I be upset? What has happened has happened.
Not bad, cowboy.
Ah.
Get the hell out of here.
Ah. That's weird to hear him making an Andy impression.
Okay, I'm going. See you later, Crimson. Ah, there we are. Gotta get me one of these fancy coffins for back home.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. What am I in the mood for? I think I'm either gonna find a passage from Little Women that suits me, or I'm gonna watch Shemp get smacked in the head with a hot iron.
I'm not
Or I'm going to bed.
I'm gonna read Little Women.
I can always turn to the Alcuts in my times of doubt. Somehow they got above it all and started exploring humanity. Now, where was that line? All right, here in chapter 8. I am angry nearly every day of my life, Joe, but I have learned not to show it, and I still hope to learn not to feel it, though it may take me another 40 years to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like the Senora. Hope she doesn't have
Yeah.
to wait too much longer, and that I'm not making it worse.
Yeah.
Well, that's enough fun for one day. Good night, son. See you in hell.
Good night, son. See you in hell.
Samuel, greetings. I believe you are seeing our actor friend tonight, are you not?
Hello, Andy. Vamp Cell Kitchen. This virgin is raw. Oh, I love that. That's so funny. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't ever know if you guys can hear it. And I don't know if it's worse that I bring attention to it or not. But I can hear people outside being very loud in their cars and going vrrr, and I'm like, yes. This virgin is raw! Anyway.
Yeah, I guess so. Still ain't sure I'm the right therapist for that fella.
Yeah.
There may not be a right therapist for him, but let us think positively. He has put himself in your care, and that is a tremendous step.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm thinking it's gonna be an uphill battle, though.
Yep.
At least his core distortion is clear, don't you think? You know what it is, I am sure.
Is it personalization?
It's personalization, right?
Of course, a distortion common to many with narcissistic tendencies.
Uh-huh.
Yep, it's the Edmund Keane show, all day, every day.
Yep, it is. It's all good, Ghosty. Mike's all good. Fantastic! I can never tell if my mic is picking it up or not because I'm not, like, actively looking at my little, like, you know, the thing where it's like, oh yeah, your mic is picking up noise. Whenever it happens, I'm always, like, in the game, so I don't see if it peaks, so I can't tell. Thank you for telling me, Dread.
I recognize your disdain, but pause a moment. It must be difficult for Edmund to make everything all about him all the time, don't you think?
He doesn't have to make everything about him, though.
He doesn't know that. Keep digging, Samuel. You will find his truth. Choose your distortions well.
Okay. Him and his stupid face. Labeling. Disqualifying the positive. Overgeneralization. And should statements, maybe? I think that's good. I don't know why it keeps on flagging specifically Twink. I need to go into auto mod and take that off. But yes, he does look like Twink Hamilton. He looks like Twink Hamilton that kind of got ran over a couple times. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but something about his look is like, in the back of my head is like, It might be his eye bags. It's like not in a cute way, eye bags. Or his forehead. It might be his forehead. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the funk-ass facial hair. I don't know.
I think I'm all holstered up now.
Very good, Samuel. I wish you patience and compassion. Good luck.
See you later, Andy. All right, now what did Andy teach me? Breathe.
Yep.
I think I'm ready. Right
Let's
on
do
time.
this.
I think I hear him coming. Hey, Edmund, good to see you. How you been feeling these past few weeks?
It's the stash. It's not good. Yeah. Yeah, I think that you're right. Mate, the stash, or is it these weird, like, mutton chops that he's got going on? I don't know. I like his outfit. I know that it's not the outfit. The outfit is a sleigh. It's a look. It's giving gold. It's giving elegance. We love the outfit. I don't like your face. I love your hair. I hate your face.
Empty, my dear boy. Empty. I am but a vessel made for a single purpose. But alas, and alack, that purpose is in supply most rare.
Or maybe it's his voice? I don't know.
You mean acting, right?
I think he's meant to be annoying. I think that that's part of his character design, is he's meant to be annoying.
Aye, that's the rub. Acting, my dear boy. Acting. My thespian blood goes rancid with stagnation, and the only cure seems to me irreprehensible now.
Go into a community theater.
I do not wish to
Any
face
of
these
them.
mortal directors, for they dare to tell me my art.
Okay, but like, why does it feel like you would meet this guy in like any community theater or any high school theater? Like, his vibe feels like that. Outfit is on point. I think it's the jawline and the mutton chops not mixing well. Yeah, I think that might be it. I think that you might be right. Because it looks like his jaw comes down and out, which could be a look. But it's also hidden. But, like, your brain is also like, yeah, no, it comes down and straight out. Huh.
Ain't that what directors are supposed to do?
Yeah, they're supposed to call you out on your shit.
Oh, my dear boy. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and others have greatness
Is
thrust
thrust upon them. Yeah, no, I know that line. It's Shakespeare. Part of me kind of wants to make, like, a TikTok or something just to the, God, I hate Shakespeare. There, I said it. I don't hate Shakespeare. I actually love The Tempest specifically. Like, my favorite Shakespeare play is The Tempest. With a close second, honestly, probably being Twelfth Night. I think that Twelfth Night is very fun. Ugh. He's giving beginning movie mega mind energy of annoying. Yes. Honestly, I was gonna say his forehead is kind of giving Megamind too, but it's not that bad. But no, that's actually from Twelfth Night. It's said by, oh, what's his name? It's the like servant character in it that is trying to, that thinks that Viola? That thinks that Viola is interested in him. Like, gets a letter, thinks that Viola's interested in him, and then is quoting the letter and is being like, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and others have greatness thrust upon them. It's a whole thing. I personally think Shakespeare is overrated. Personally, more of a fan of William Blake poems. Oh, that's cool. I should check out, I haven't heard of William Blake. I should check that out. Yeah, I used to not like Shakespeare, like, at all. But then in high school, I had a pretty great teacher who, like, went through The Tempest with us and, like, really, like, helped us to understand it. The Tempest, my favorite Shakespeare show to this day. I absolutely love The Tempest. I've gotten to see it, like, live at a really awesome outdoor amphitheater. Great show. Loved watching it. I really like The Tempest. That's also just kind of me. Sometimes. I think The Tempest is the best of Shakespeare's works, personally. But yeah.
No director can thrust greatness upon the already great. In mine own case, mine greatness hath already been achieved.
Well, maybe you can help me understand a little better. You said that greatness was thrust upon you, right? How did that happen?
Shoot, I'll have to read The Tempest then. You might change my mind on Shakespeare. I was gonna say, if you do end up reading The Tempest, tell me what you think about it. I absolutely love it. I love. My favorite character in it is a character named Ariel. And there's like a whole bunch of stuff that is really interesting about The Tempest. And, like, I don't want to spoil it, but it's also, like, if you do end up reading it, just tell me so that I can be a nerd about it.
Ah, you are curious to hear what circumstances created this actor non-pare. I cannot blame you. Well, recounting such a history will please me indeed.
Yeah?
I first rattled the foundations of the stage as a mere babe. Indeed, too young for memory, and yet old enough to command attention. Clad only in swaddling cloth at the age of 4, I was Cupid himself. But my arrows seemingly went astray, for the entirety of the audience fell in love with me.
Okay.
It is the stuff of legend. For tender as my mind was, I could not bear witness to my own greatness. But it does prove that I was indeed born great.
Sure thing, Ghosty. Might even write an essay. Ayo? Ayo, Dread? That sounds fantastic. I love The Tempest so much. I remember we were asked to, because actually I ended up with that same teacher, because that teacher that I had that went through The Tempest with my class was both my English teacher one year and then my theater teacher another year. Did both a couple of the English classes and all of the theater classes. And so with that same teacher, we went through The Tempest twice. It was fantastic. But anyway, point being, we watched a production of The Tempest. I believe it was, I think it was like Shakespeare's acting group, like the Shakespearean acting group of blah 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 or something like that. It was like it was a massive, like, nice production that, like, had lots of money go into it. But the costuming in it was so cool. I liked it a lot, especially I liked it for certain roles more than for others. There was, like, 1 or 2 characters that I was like, I don't know how I feel about that costume choice, but okay. And we were told to write an entire essay about, just something in it. I wrote a whole essay about, the costuming, and for the ones that I didn't like, what I would have done to make them better.
But you said greatness was thrust upon you.
It was a matter of necessity. You may not guess it from my gentle speech, but I am no lordling. Selfishly, and surely to spite me, my father shuffled off his mortal coil when I was but a babe in arms, ere I ever graced the stage. It left my mother and myself in dire straits.
Hold on a sec. You said your old man died selfishly. Well, what do you mean?
Yeah, I don't think that...
Well, what kind of a father drinks himself to death when he has a beautiful baby son at home?
Yeah.
I at least waited until my son was older before I did the same.
Okay, that doesn't make you better than your dad.
Eddie, come on. Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't die to spite your son, just as your pa didn't die to spite you. I ain't gonna deny his choices hurt you, but they weren't all about you.
Yeah.
Forgive me then. 'Tis ever the fate of an actor to feel every emotion more keenly. The situation my mother and I were left in was most precarious.
Every emotion more cleanly. Blah, 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 blah.
We were the lowest of the low, you see. We lived in the rookeries and begged for our bread. But he that hath wit must make content with his fortune's fit. And oh, did we beg. She was my Queen Gertrude, and I her filthy little Hamlet. Did I mention I played Hamlet at age 14?
No, and I don't really care. I should probably read Hamlet. I actually have not read Hamlet. or Macbeth. I should probably read those. I have not read either of those. And also, Dread, I would recommend reading The Tempest and then trying to find a recording of a play of it. Like a company doing it on stage. Because there's certain things that translate so much better with Shakespeare if you just watch it. Because, like, there's, like, it's just, it's that kind of thing of, like, poetry is better read aloud than, like, read in your head. But, yeah.
No, I hadn't heard that.
Well, anyway, my mother was a competent actress, but it was my wit alone that saved us from destitution.
I hate him. No?
Edmund is
Labeling?
discounting his mother's contribution to his survival almost entirely.
Well,
Disqualifying the
Sounds
positive.
like your mother did a lot for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure the people loved you, but could you have done it alone?
Yeah, no. Your mom did a whole lot. You better put some respect on your mom's name.
I suppose my dramaturgical purpose would have been lost without a scene partner, but it was I whom the throngs came to see.
No. Get the fuck out of here.
I ain't saying that ain't the case, but you might be disqualifying your mother's contribution to your greatness, right?
Yeah, that's your mom. Respect her.
I don't see how that is relevant, but I suppose so. Let me continue unabated, sir.
Okay.
Forsooth, I was so prodigious that, at the age of 7, I garnered the attention of one Reginald Flopbot of the Worthington Flopbots.
Flopbots.
'Twas he who paid to get me off the streets and into the dormitories. He said, "Edmund, my cherub, the streets are not for you. One day you will be the greatest of actors."
Hey, how about that? You went and proved him right.
Piffle. Master Flopbot never gave a fig about my potential. I was a prop to him, a symbol of his generosity and high breeding.
Noted. Honestly, I feel the same with the theater and Disney version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Count Frollo is so much more human in the theater version. Like, you feel for him slowly turning to sin, but still don't agree with his actions, but you understand. Yeah, no, I've seen, like, an onstage performance of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Fantastic. In my opinion, a lot better than the Disney version. Like, I love the Disney version, like everybody does, of, like, the, you know, because it's one of the more classic Disney films. But the theater version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame is so fantastic, in my opinion. I totally agree with you there, Dread. But, like, yeah, no, I totally get that. The theatrical version of Hunchback that I saw was, they did, like, a thing, so they had, like, they, like, constructed on the stage, like, buildings, kind of, but essentially, the person that was playing, Quasimodo could literally hang off of, like, certain beams that were on the stage and, like, parts of the building. So, like, the actor playing Quasi was, like, literally, like, jumping around and, like, swinging and stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness, so cool. Hellfire is probably my all-time favorite Disney villain song, maybe only second to Friends on the Other Side. Yes, Dread! Yes, 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 we have the same brain cell. I love Friends on the Other Side. That is my go-to karaoke song, like, anytime. I actually auditioned for a musical once with that song.
Every month, he would stage an elaborate party with all the well-to-do society of London. The dandy fop would stand upon a dais and announce himself as the savior of the city's poor. That was my cue. I would be lowered down from the rooftop, wearing naught but swaddling clothes and a set of opulent wings. The gentry's delight was my dungeon, but I would flit among them, reprising my breakout role as Cupid by shooting little arrows of love at them. At the age of 7, it was most disquieting. At 11, on the cusp of manhood, the shame was too much to bear.
Yeah.
Dang, Eddie, that sounds awful. That flopball fella had no right to do that to you.
Yeah.
No, indeed. I remember my last performance quite vividly. The titters and leering glances from the guests linger ever in the back of my mind. And fool that I was, I played my part still. I should have plunged mine arrows into that fool Flopbot's chest instead of shaming myself.
Hold on a
Statement?
sec there. You saying you should have stood up for yourself. Where the heck does that come from? You were 11 years old. How the heck were you supposed to know any better?
Yeah. That's a scary, hard situation for an
I knew
11-year-old.
enough to know that being paraded around in swaddling clothes was a farce, and yet I played along. So yes, I should have done something about it.
Like what? You were 11. You went from being on the streets to being taken care of by this guy. Like, if you did this. Like, what? Anyway. He really is edgy. Yes. Yeah. I hate that, like, part of my brain is starting to be like, oh, Edmund. 'Cause, like, that's a fucked up situation in his childhood. Like, I'm like, fuck, man. That's shitty. And I hate that that happened to you.
And then what would have happened?
I don't know, but I would have been spared the indignity that I participated in.
You didn't have those answers then, and ain't nobody would expect you to. That's kind of how exploitation works, Eddie.
Yeah.
Indeed, the word exploit was not even in the standard lexicon at that point. How could I have known? Regardless, I swore that night to never be a puppet again. I stole away and gave myself to the mercy of Poseidon. The bargain was struck, and he swallowed up my hated swaddling clothes and wings. In desperation, I signed on with a mercantile shipping agency. I thought perhaps that my body would bend more than my soul. But oh, did I toil! Life upon the sea is most cruel. Biting winds did carve my visage. Low words hardened my heart, and heavy weights left me bent.
Luckily, we can work those traumas through therapy and help him heal. That is my hope. That is my hope. We'll see. We'll see how far we get. I have hope. 'Cause Signora, Isabella d'Este, the lady before, I didn't think we were gonna crack her. I did not think that we were gonna fully crack her. But, like, we got it. She cracked. And she's, like, actually thinking things. And I'm like, oh, yes, yes.
By the time I had fulfilled my bargain with the Lord of the Sea, I had become an older man, my efforts etched into every crease on my face.
Dang, sounds intense. How long were you at this job?
Yeah.
An age, a life. 6 months, each one a hungry leech torn from my bleeding body.
6 months.
I am convinced this gauntlet was prepared for me alone, for ne'er in history has one so blessed by grace been subjected to such toil.
Personalization.
Eddie, I gotta stop you there. It's gonna be a lot easier to accept your truth when you realize you ain't alone in your suffering.
Yeah.
Hell, there ain't nothing more human than suffering. And historically, kids ain't had it so good.
Yeah.
But none suffered as I suffered. A boy such as I was not meant for such misery.
Compadre, I had my first kill and no home at 12 years old. My brother had a stutter his whole life on account of the regular beatings my stepdaddy gave him.
Yeah.
Maybe your suffering felt like the only suffering in the world, but it wasn't. And it'll hurt less when you realize you weren't alone.
Yeah.
But keep telling me your story. I already know there ain't nobody like you in the world, so don't worry on that account.
Now then, at last, we close the circle as nature ever demands. I return to London and into the graces of my dear Uncle Moses and his comely mistress, Charlotte. 'Twas she who filled my dramaturgical quiver with dire arrows, fletched by the bard himself. And when my deft fingers plucked the bow of humanity, at last I was free.
Huh?
I cannot speak more plainly. The good woman taught me the works of Shakespeare, and armed with this knowledge, I conquered the stage and saved myself from toil.
Oh, well, right.
And so, you see, the die was cast from the moment I was born. The stage was made for me, and it was my skill upon it that saved me from the streets, and saved me once again from a life at sea.
Eddie, my man, I got some good news and bad news for you.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, fate doesn't give a stable full of horse shit about you.
Yeah.
Ain't none of us are that special. The world ain't waiting for us to show up. It's just gonna keep turning.
Perhaps you are right, my dear boy. You are correct. My success was not because of the fates, but in spite of them. The fates said, Edmund, you are a child of the slums. But I shamed the immortal hags in my own manner. The stage roused my spirit. Thus I knew my destiny lay upon it.
I can see why acting means so much to you, Eddie.
Yeah.
I probably feel damn near the same about the things that got me out of my bad days.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you literally were born for the okay.
Thank you. Then you understand how my alienation from the theater does pain me so. And yet, the cure is as deadly as the illness.
I understand that, but also taking notes from a director is not the end of the world.
These damnable critics! Not a single lifetime among them, and they deign to challenge my interpretation of the written word.
Yes. Suffer.
They simply cannot relate to my singular experience. I will bare my soul upon that stage, and they will all sneer and malign it on their internet profiles.
For someone that lives for adulation, Edmund has a dim view of his fans, don't you think?
They simply
Overgeneralization?
cannot relate.
You're so certain that them critics are all the same, but I think that ain't being honest with yourself. Not all critics are bad. It takes work to be good at something, so of course the decent critics are gonna be rarer.
Yeah.
What you say rings true. Indeed, although past critics were flabbergasted at my portrayal of King Lear, not all were. And modern perspectives have affirmed that my interpretation was nothing short of brilliant.
Yeah, you get it. I took a look at your Wikipedia entry last night, Eddie. Well, maybe you've had a few bad critics here and there, but history says you're a legend, and your work speaks for itself. Hell, you were around before film was ever a thing, and people still remember you.
Ah, your words warm me, as an ersatz son for the one we have forsaken. With thy help shall I gird my soul, mayhap, and grace the stage once more.
Well, let's talk about that then. What's the biggest thing stopping you from getting back up on that stage right now?
That it all simply might not be worth it. Why should I bare my damned soul when the audience hath not the sight to see it?
Maybe I can ask you a question then. What if there were no audience?
Yeah.
No audience? Do you know what a stage is, sir? It is a platform where life in brief may be portrayed. It is a platform because it is separate from the audience.
Yeah, but what if you just did it for yourself instead of for an audience or for praise?
Without such, the stage ceases to be a stage.
As in, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Simply but elegantly put, my dear boy. Without the audience, the stage loses all meaning.
Oh, damn it.
Like a monarch without a kingdom.
That's yawn counter. Fuck. I need to actually, like, make a little yawn counter to have up in the corner of my screen. Stage loses all meaning. Disqualifying positive?
Just a minute there, partner. You're saying that the stage is nothing without the audience. But I gotta ask you, where does the acting come from?
Yeah.
Ah, but from simple tongues, the purest of queries, narrow in breadth, but as deep as the sea. The source of acting is everything, my boy. The beating of every heart, the cry of every child, the fluttering of a butterfly's wings. The roots of acting are intertwined with those of life itself.
We really need to keep track of those yawns, but you're all good, Ghosty, just a bit eepy. Yeah, I'm always a little eepy. I need to, like, because I'm considering commissioning an artist for something else, but I need to, like, I could get, oh, you know what would be so cute is if I commissioned getting, like, a yawn emote.
So does acting come from the audience or from everything?
My dear boy, you prove yet again, as the bard oft did, that 'tis the fool who sees the truth as it is. I bow to your simple wisdom.
Thanks, I guess. Let's figure out how we can bring it back to acting. Forget the audience. I know we can't see in mirrors and all, but what do you think of filming yourself?
Yeah. Just, you know, act and, like, have it for yourself so you can be like, wow, I did that.
Brilliant notion. Yes, I shall become my own audience. I shall bring myself to rapture. Forsooth, if I cannot pleasure myself, whom can I pleasure?
That would be adorable and great for engagement. I'm kind of considering it. I'll look into it. There's a specific artist that I have in mind. I might look into it.
We're still talking about acting, right?
Oh, my dear boy, the pleasures of the flesh are secondary to one who knows character above all else. Indeed, we speak of the noble art. I shall do as you suggest. If there is one on this lonely orb that can inspire an artist such as I, it is myself.
I ain't sure I'd put it exactly that way, but I think you're touching on the thing we've been talking about. The motivation's got to come from you, amigo.
We are of one mind, dear boy. Perhaps I left my muse in the mortal realm, but I shall find him once more. Not only for myself, but also for my public. Yea, the masses flock to my Wikipedia page as moths to a flame, each a silent plea for the return of the one true artisan of the stage.
No.
Now hold your horses there, fella. You're reading a little too much into the whole Wikipedia thing. There's 1.5 million reasons why people might be looking you up.
Yeah, you're kind of a historical figure, so...
I mean, I hear tell the biggest Wikipedia page out there is the one for that coronavirus that got all them mortals all worked up. And I'm pretty sure they don't want that coming back.
Yeah.
And thus dost thou scuttle a burgeoning friendship with the cannons of enmity. Why must you challenge me so?
Because you need somebody to call you out on your bullshit?
That's my job, compadre. Ain't we had some good breakthroughs today? We couldn't have gotten there if I'd been busy agreeing with everything you said.
He's definitely not full of himself. I know, right? Definitely not full of himself.
Oh, very well. But I still say you are most vexatious.
This guy, I swear.
I've been called worse. I think we got some homework for you, though, right? You're gonna film yourself and do some acting for its own sake.
Definitely can't handle any more years stuck at home. Same. I can't do it. And also, I don't even know what I would do. Like, if that happened again. Because, like, I've mentioned on stream before, I'm a hairstylist, and I cut people's hair. You know, that's my job. The salons had to shut down during COVID. Or at least during the beginning of it. They were able to reopen a little bit, but, like, it's insane. Like, I cannot imagine having to do that again. That, I was a teenager when that happened, and it sucked.
We'll check back in a few weeks. But Eddie, I think you're doing great. We made a lot of progress today.
Naturally. The human condition is my oeuvre. Nevertheless, you have been a competent guide. You have reminded me of what is most important in unlife. Me.
Okay.
I should like to give you a gift.
No, thank you.
Oh, come on. You don't need to do nothing like that.
Nonsense. It is meaningless
Okay.
to me, but it is beyond price for you. It is my headshot, signed with my autograph.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Eddie.
Cherish it always. If you help me to find my muse, then it is a gift even more precious. And I will find it ere we next meet. Of that, I promise you.
Well, let's
Okay.
not put the pressure on, amigo. Just enjoy some acting. That's all I'm asking for. I'll see you in a few weeks then, okay?
Sam, I remember missing a whole year of school because of it. Yeah, I missed. So I remember we got sent home from school, and I remember them being like, yeah, we're just going to be out of school for 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks initially. And we're like, yeah, awesome. We get like a 2-week break from school. This is fantastic. And then it was like, oh, we're going to need another month. And we're like, okay. And then it just, you know, it was that whole thing of like, oh, we're not coming back until like at the earliest next school year. And my school especially, like my school was trying to get things up and running in person a little bit faster than some other schools. I know that some other schools were a little bit slower with getting things within regulation. But yeah, so like my school did that, and but then they still had like online classes and stuff. It was like just a whole thing.
Verily, so it shall be. Godspeed then, boy. Thou shalt witness me new and on. Farewell.
Bye. Bye,
A
bitch.
job well done, Samuel. I was particularly impressed at the way you challenged Edmund on what acting means to him.
Yeah, he's a weird fella, but I think he's gonna do okay.
It can be hard for our kind to retain our intrinsic motivation. Something must keep him going. I do hope that he will find his. But you, Samuel, must rest. The work you have done in these past 2 months deserves to be celebrated, so do not linger here in this dusty room. Perhaps you can even be encouraged to dance.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna need a lot more therapy myself to get to that point.
Very well, Samuel. Then let us at least make sure you get well nourished.
I know we had to do online for a bit, and that was a joke. But my last year was all in a mask. Yeah.
Find a friendly neck downstairs, my friend. You deserve it. And rest in peace.
Yeah, it was.
Well, they say don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys, but maybe don't let them be actors either.
That feels targeted, Sam. That feels targeted at specifically me. Alright. I think that we are probably going to end it there for tonight. We are going to probably raid to somebody. Let me see who is live. Let me see. Okay. Hero's live. We're gonna go raid Hero. Be nice, be kind, but of course you're going to be because you're one of my beautiful little ghosties. Good night, goodbye, and I'll see you next time. My beautiful little ghosties. Bye-bye.